Contentious day in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs, with the defense putting the mogul's now ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, under cross-examination.
Driga, how would you describe Cassie's demeanor when she took the stand today?
When she walked in there, Rachel, she had on a brown dress, form-fitting, visibly pregnant, head held high, and did not make any eye contact with the defendant, with Sean Combs.
Katrina, good morning to you. I understand you were inside the courtroom during Ventura's testimony. The transcripts are just horrific. How did she hold up?
Errol, she broke down on the stand yesterday as she was testifying, and that was one of the most striking moments of the day, when she was moved to tears as she was giving, as you said, this very graphic and graphic testimony.
Folks, Diddy's doomsday might have finally arrived. Cassie just took the stand on day 4 of his trial. And whew, what went down in that courtroom? It left everybody absolutely shook. Word on the street is Cassie broke down in tears, pouring her heart out as she exposed some of the darkest, most disturbing moments from her time with Diddy. We're talking chilling stories of control, manipulation, and straight-up abuse. And let's be real, it's not just the jury that's locked in. The internet is watching every second of this unfold, and the streets are buzzing. People are side-eyeing Diddy heavily right now. The question on everyone's lips? Is this finally the fall of one of hip-hop's most untouchable moguls? Let's get into it. So, if you've been paying attention to the street, you'd already know that Diddy's long-awaited trial just kicked off this May. And right now, on day 4 of the courtroom drama, Cassie Ventura, the woman at the center of this entire storm, is officially on the stand, testifying in front of a packed courtroom. And man, this wasn't just another testimony. What went down shook the entire room.
Driga, how would you describe Cassie's demeanor when she took the stand today?
When she walked in there, Rachel, she had on a brown dress, form-fitting, visibly pregnant, head held high, and did not make any eye contact with the defendant, with Sean Combs.
Sean Diddy Combs, the billionaire mogul and the man who practically invented the modern celebrity lifestyle, went pale as Cassie spoke. Yep. Word on the street is that this man, who used to shut down clubs, sell out arenas, and move like a god in designer suits, couldn't even maintain his composure as his ex-girlfriend started detailing her experiences with him, live, raw, and in full view of the press and jury. According to courtroom insiders, Diddy's face dropped instantly when Cassie began describing some of the most disturbing moments of their relationship. Reporters say he looked like a ghost, like a man watching his empire collapse, one bombshell at a time. Allegedly, Sean Diddy Combs did not look happy watching Cassie testify in court. But Cassie didn't hold back either. She spoke about alleged abuse, manipulation, and even brought up the leaked 2016 video. You know, that video where Diddy was seen hitting her. Word on the street is Diddy allegedly paid off the hotel to keep that footage buried, trying to hide his violent side. But yo, that plan backfired big time because the video still leaked and went viral fast. And that weak apology he dropped? Straight up damage control. Nobody was buying it. It felt fake, forced, and all about saving face, not actual remorse.
My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
Now we know that for decades, Diddy moved through the music industry like he was untouchable. Because honestly, he kind of was. This man built Bad Boy Records from scratch, launched the careers of legends like Biggie, Mace, and Mary J. Blige, flipped Sean John into a fashion juggernaut, turned Cyrock into a lifestyle flex, and made Revolt TV his media throne. He wasn't just winning, he owned the game. On paper, he was the ultimate rags to riches blueprint. But now, all of that shine is peeling back, and what's underneath ain't pretty. While he was gracing Forbes lists and getting standing ovations at BET, if what Cassie's saying is true, there was a whole other side to Diddy. A side hidden behind closed doors. A side that was abusive, violent, and fueled by power and fear. The Cassie that fans saw in music videos and fashion spreads was allegedly living a nightmare that no one outside the industry had a clue about. And you could feel the shift in the courtroom. Even veteran legal reporters, folks who've sat through RICO cases, mob trials, you name it, were reportedly speechless at the level of detail Cassie dropped. The courtroom went dead silent when Cassie Ventura took the stand. She walked in calm, collected, but folks, it didn't take long before the weight of her truth hit her like a freight train. Her voice cracked, her hands shook, and before long she was in tears, breaking down as she laid out the hell she allegedly went through during her years with Sean Diddy Combs.
Katrina, good morning to you. I understand you were inside the courtroom during Ventura's testimony. The transcripts are just horrific. How did she hold up?
Errol, she broke down on the stand yesterday as she was testifying, and that was one of the most striking moments of the day when she was moved to tears as she was giving, as you said, this very graphic and pornographic testimony.
Now look, she started off talking about love, said she loved this man, said he had a real personality that she fell for, but that love turned dark. And real quick, she talked about how she used to try to make Diddy happy, even if it meant saying yes to what she called freak-offs, those wild, forced encounters with strangers he allegedly made her be part of.
When the prosecution asked her, was there ever a time that you enjoyed the freak-offs? This is when Cassie got choked up and she said, I did, but only because I got to spend one-on-one time with Combs, and I really did love him.
In the beginning, Cassie said she felt like she had a choice. She said she felt safe enough to speak her mind to him, but then the vibe changed, fast. Jurors saw the texts and they weren't good. In one message, she told Diddy a freak-off made her feel dirty and grimy.
And she said that after that first freak-off, she said she felt dirty.
Allegedly, Cassie wasn't talking about some consensual fun. She was talking about feeling violated, ashamed. And that wasn't just a one-time thing. That became the norm. Then came the violence. Cassie told the court that the first time Diddy hit her, she was straight up shocked. She never expected it. But once that door opened, it was open. She talked about being beaten after a club night in LA, trying to run away from him, and being chased down by his security team like she was a criminal. The most chilling part? She said in 2018, Diddy raped her in their damn living room. She said she felt trapped. Not just emotionally, but physically. She said this man had guns, made threats, allegedly said things that kept her scared for her life. Even after the relationship ended, she claimed the threats didn't stop. It was like being stuck in a war zone that never ended.
She also was testifying that, these physical threats, one thing that stood out to me that she said was if she made the wrong face, the next thing I knew I was getting hit in the face. And she said he controlled almost every aspect of her life. He gave her essentially busy work, a to-do list, so he would know what she was doing at all times. If he couldn't reach her, he was incessantly texting her until someone went and checked to see where she was.
And that ain't all. Cassie told the jury she watched Diddy get violent with other people too. This wasn't some private issue behind closed doors. She said she saw him punch employees in the head like they were nothing. One time she said Diddy allegedly held one of her friends over the balcony railing at her LA apartment. Now that's a different level of unhinged. Diddy allegedly had her on lockdown, and we're not just talking emotionally. Cassie said Diddy controlled her music career, how she looked, what she wore, and even had a tracker on her phone. Every move she made, he knew about it. Folks, this was domination on some next-level control freak type behavior. She said she couldn't even breathe without him watching.
She also said that he controlled her appearance. Sometimes he didn't like her hair. He wanted her to dress sexy, sometimes a tomboy. He wanted her nails to be white, she testified, especially during the freak-offs. And one thing that she said she was concerned about was blackmail, because a lot of these freak-offs were recorded, and the big concern was hers that they could end up in the internet if somehow she did something to upset him.
And when she tried to move on, he allegedly came back with fire. Cassie testified that during a 2011 freak-off, Diddy found out she was seeing rapper Kid Cudi. He lost it. She said he lunged at her with a wine opener and then said, and this is wild, that Kid Cudi's car would get blown up. Fast forward, according to Cassie, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway not long after. That ain't coincidence. That's straight up terror if it's true. And she wasn't the only one who saw the violence. Cassie said his security, drivers, and assistants witnessed the abuse. Some of them quit, said they couldn't take watching it anymore. One assistant named Mia Cassie said she saw it all, and she wasn't the only one. Cassie also opened up about her drug use, said she was heavily hooked on opiates during the relationship, not by choice, but to cope. She was trying to numb the pain, trying to survive. She said she checked into rehab 5 or 6 times. And at one point in 2023, she had to go through trauma therapy because she was having flashbacks during a music video shoot. Real PTSD-type flashbacks. She even admitted she was suicidal. That's how broken she was, folks. And that moment in court, that's when she broke down. Completely. The pain caught up with her. She sobbed while recalling the therapy, the flashbacks, the mental torture. You could feel that pain. It was raw, real.
I think what made Cassie emotional is having to describe the details of the freak-off and why she did it. When she talked about wanting to do it to please Sean Combs, that's when she broke down. Up until that point, she had just been answering the questions. She's a little soft-spoken at times, but that's when she got emotional. When she had to answer the question about if she enjoyed it, that's when she broke down, because she said, I enjoyed being with Sean Combs. And she says, I did it because it made him happy.
But the heat in the courtroom only got hotter when the defense tried to twist things. They brought up texts from back in 2017 where she told Diddy, I love our freak-offs when we both want it. But Cassie told the jury straight up, that was just words at that point. She was trying to survive, trying to keep the peace. She wasn't speaking from a place of freedom, she was speaking from fear. Cassie also talked about the mind games. She said Diddy would accuse her of cheating while doing his own thing with other women. She admitted she had jealousy toward Kim Porter and argued with Diddy about a woman named Gina. But the wild part? Diddy was more paranoid about her. Even when she tried to protect people like Kid Cudi, it wasn't enough. He allegedly saw every man as a threat.
Cassie Ventura talked about some pretty scary arguments she had with Sean Combs over her infidelity. With rapper Kid Cudi, Combs was violent towards her for reasons having nothing to do with sex, but because of jealousy and infidelity.
And that paranoia mixed with drugs, dangerous combo. She said they both did a lot of drugs, said she suffered side effects while Diddy would go into rage mode if he caught her using without him. He'd flip if she touched his stash. His moods, she claimed, would crash hard from withdrawal. The man was allegedly unstable, explosive one minute, silent the next. And let's not forget, Cassie ended up walking away with a $20 million settlement after filing that civil suit in 2023. Some folks said it was about the money, but hearing her testimony, it's deeper than that. It was about survival, about getting out alive. Now, she's heavily pregnant and still found the strength to face him in court. The judge even said they might have to speed things up because she could give birth any day now. That's how close to the edge this moment is.
The judge wants her finished with her testimony by the end of Friday after federal prosecutors told him that she could give birth as soon as this weekend.
Yo, if even half of what Cassie laid out in court is true, then Diddy ain't just fighting for his freedom. He's watching his entire legacy go up in flames. This ain't just some Hollywood drama. This is real-life trauma, finally catching up with one of the most powerful men in hip-hop. And the craziest part? This was only day 4. You already know this trial's gonna get darker, wilder, and a whole lot messier before it's over. Word is the prosecution's got a stacked list of witnesses lined up to testify against not just Diddy, but other big names in the industry who are wrapped in Diddy's web of deceit, violence, and abuse. So now the big question is, who else is gonna get exposed? Is Diddy gonna crack and start talking? If he flips, we might be looking at a full-on industry collapse. Music, sports, Hollywood, even tech, nobody's safe if this blows wide open. One tape, one photo, one message, and it's a wrap for a lot of folks. But for now, all eyes are locked on Cassie. Her testimony just cracked open the first layer of Diddy's defense. And depending on what she brings next, this might be the moment that takes down one of the biggest names in the game. So tell me this, do you think Cassie's telling the whole truth? Will Diddy survive this trial? And who do y'all think is next to be dragged into this mess? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what y'all think about this, because this drama is only getting crazier. And yo, don't forget, hit that like, smash that subscribe, and ring the damn notification bell so you never miss the next chapter in this wild Hollywood meltdown. Stay locked in. I'll see y'all in the next one.